Hi, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Bissell Brothers Brewing Company, and they're out of Portland, Maine, and this is their Swish. So they're calling this one an ale, but it's basically a Hazy Double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume, 80 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just under 5 weeks old. Now, believe it or not, I have never had this beer ever. I know that might sound crazy to a lot of you, especially in the New England region, where this has been pretty much one of those beers that back in the mid to late 2010s, a lot of people, this was a highly sought after beer. A lot of people chased this beer and went nuts trying to acquire it. I've had other beers from Bissell Brothers, but I've never had this one. In fact, I reviewed their Swish Silver, which is like the pale ale version of this earlier this year. Picked it up at Halftime Beverage, and it was really good. Very flavorful hazy pale ale, basically. So this is the OG original, release of this. I don't know if this is the original recipe that they first came out. I think this was starting to get released in like 2014, 2015. But this is the OG Swish, we'll say. Well, this is the regular Swish, not a variant of it. And I'm here for it. Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops. And yeah, I'm finally checking it out, getting a chance to review it, and I can tell you that I am super stoked to do so. We're going to pour it in the treehouse glass, but we'll turn it around. So I'm anticipating, a nice kind of older school, like hazy IPA. That's what I'm expecting from this one. So we will see if that is indeed the case. How does that look in the glass? Absolutely phenomenal. It has that, milky kind of, now that looks like more of like a turkey or chicken gravy, turkey stock. Can't see through it. Super murky and turbid. It has that like deep honey orange color. It has about 2 to 2.5 fingers of an infinitely creamy looking head. It's off-white. But if you're saying, hey, here's a hazy IPA of some sort, yeah, it looks exactly how it should. Let's get a nose. Ooh, okay, I was like, I'm not getting anything. Tons of orange. Orange and peach. I feel like Citra's leading the way here. Oh yeah, juicy orange. Almost like a sharp, like acidic orange too. And then like a fresh peach, a ripened peach, not like candied, but ripened. I think the Simcoe is working overtime here in the nose, because I think the peach I'm getting probably combination of the Citra and the Simcoe, but I get this beautiful dank kind of quality to it, like a little bit of greenness. A lot of people get the caddy aroma, like ammonia, a lot of times with Simcoe. I never really got it, but I always get like a generic dankness. That's what I'm getting here. Maybe a skosh of like a blueberry from that Mosaic. There is a little bit of like a malty kind of sweetness, perceived sweetness in the nose, like white bread. Yeah, it smells like a beer from yesteryear when talking about a hazy beer. It smells like if I saw this beer, or I could get my hands on it, it was 2015, 2016, 2017, I'd be like, yeah, this is what it smells like. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It smells like a very nicely constructed and well-made and well-brewed hazy double IPA. Good glass lacing, nice aromatics. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. It's nice. I will say, when I picked this one up, about a month old. Had to get to some other beer, so I waited, another like 5-6 days to review this. Don't think that, let's say this was 4 weeks old, and I'm drinking it just under 5 weeks old. I don't think that plays a huge role. Probably way different from, say, just under 5 weeks old and just under 5 days old or something. But this definitely reminds me of a lot of like treehouse beers I had back in the day. Like, think about any of the like double IPAs in the rainbow, right? Like very similar. Like it has that kind of hop saturated quality to them, but definitely notice the malt character. With a lot of treehouse beers, the malt character to me is definitely noticeable, and that's what's kind of happening here. And I like it. It has a nice balance to it. Body and mouthfeel are fucking spectacular. Body's like lower side of full, 8%, awesome. The mouthfeel, soft, smooth, creamy, mild to moderately carbonated, but softer than anticipated, smooth and creamy. The glass lacing is fucking top tier. That's S tier right there, glass lacing. There's a lot to like about this beer, no doubt, right off the rip. So up front, it's so easy to drink too. Like, I know a lot of people don't put or take drinkability or how quaffable a beer is into consideration when you're reviewing it or you're rating it, whether it's on Tapped or Beer Advocate or, you know, reviewing it on YouTube like I do. But the whole point of beer is to drink it. And a lot of people like drinking entire 4-packs, entire 6-packs, entire 12-packs. Some people will session or have like a day drinking session. So I always like mentioning how much that means to me. I'm going to tell you right now that the flavor profile in this is not outstanding, amazing, world class to me. But what it lacks in taste makes up for in the body, mouthfeel, and the drinkability, balance, the whole nine. So this is a beautiful beer from that aspect. But the flavor profile is not blowing me away. So it is what it is. But anyway, the drinkability is fantastic in here. As you can see, I'm taking a bunch of sips and it's just going down so easy. So that white bread I was talking about is there. Hits me at the tip of the tongue, dives right underneath the palate, hits again on the back end. Let you know this is a beer, there's malt here, but it's not the predominant note. It's not even, you know, a huge note, but it's noticeable. After that, lots of citrus for me. First half of the palate is a medley of citrus. It has juicy, pithy orange. It has like a little bit of a blood orange, a mandarin orange. Then it has like a juicy ruby red grapefruit. But in addition to like the juiciness and the sweeter kind of vibe to those citrus fruits, it still has a pith, like a bittering pithiness, a little bit of rind to it as well. So a lot of citrus first half of the palate. Midway to 2/3 of the way through the palate, I get a touch of the red berry I got from, or that I think is coming from the Mosaic, but then a big blast of like a sweetened peach, a ripened peach. It's a very, like a juicy, sweeter peach, not candied, so it's not like peach gummy rings, but it's definitely, you could say maybe like the fruit you get in like the peach you get in a fruit cup, something like that. And then the finish, it's dank, it's herbaceous, and it has a green vegetal tomato stalk, kind of walking through a forest after it rained, smelling the grass when it rained. It has like dampness to it. It has a little bit of like a funk to it, right? And I've said that before in other reviews, but that's kind of what's happening here. This has a very mild bitterness. You could say mild to moderate. I'm going to say straight mild bitterness. 80 IBUs. I don't think this beer's probably 80 IBUs anymore. That's what it's listed on tap, so that's why I said it. I'm sure they tweaked the recipe over the years. This tastes like it's 40 to 50 IBUs at the most. Regardless, it doesn't have a big bitterness. This is like mildly to maybe mild to moderately bitter. It's more about the dryness. This is firmly dry, not bone dry, firmly dry. It does lean a little sweeter. This is like 60-40 sweetness to dryness with a little bit of bitterness thrown in. 8%, here's the scary part, 8%, no warming in my chest, nothing on the palate. I couldn't tell you this is 8% from an alcohol standpoint. I could tell you it's a bigger beer because the body, mouthfeel, things of that nature. But because the flavor profile isn't overly intense and I'm not getting really any booze, whether it's on the chest or in the chest or on the palate, it's scary. If you told me this is like 6.5%, 7%, I would say yeah, but the body's a little bit bigger than that. Again, the glass lacing is fucking ridiculous. This is like one of the best glass lacing. You see where I'm taking sips. This is one of those beers where if I drank this 10 years ago, I'd probably be losing my shit. As is, right now in 2025 drinking this beer, I've had so many other beers that are similar to this, right? From other breweries. But I get why this beer got praise and has gotten praise over the years. At the same time, it's not blowing me away, but it's also impressing me from other aspects. That drinkability, the body, the mouthfeel, the balance. Like, this is a fucking really good beer. Is it mind-blowing? It is not. But I'm happy I tried it. And I'm happy it's pretty good. That's where it comes out. Actually, bullshit, Joe, saying pretty good. This is delicious. It's a tasty beer. I'm not going to go incredibly high on this because of the history of this beer and, the hype that it used to have and whatnot. But I always call a spade on my channel. I always give you the honest breakdown. And I will say that this is a very tasty beer. And I've drank pretty much half the can already, which speaks volumes to the drinkability. It's just not my favorite Hazy Double IPA of all time, or just ale as they call it, but it's fucking really good. So, Swish from Bissell Brothers will go high 4.25, will go 4.35. More flavor and a little bit more bitterness, and this is easily in the 4.5 to 4.6 realm. Have to knock it down a little bit from the lack of bitterness and the fact that the flavor profile isn't like blowing me away. But I'm not going to sit here and say this isn't a fucking great beer, because it is. It really is a great Hazy Double IPA. I'm glad I finally got a chance to try it. And yeah, it's pretty tasty, and I'm here for it. Price point availability, I paid $6 for this can at my favorite local bottle shop of choice, Brewed Bottle. Shout out to Chris. Harry, rein it in, buddy. Rein it in. So I don't think that's probably the price point at the brewery, probably $20 a 4-pack. You guys tell me if you have, you know, you can go over to Bissell Brothers and pick up 4-packs of this whenever they release it. What's the price point? I would love to hear from you guys. I'd imagine it probably gets jacked up $2 to $4 in distribution, so $6 a can. Plus, I buy singles at Chris. He doesn't usually sell 4-packs, and if he does, he takes 10% off. So, you know, probably when this makes distro, I'd say $22 a 4-pack in distro. Some places might be a lot more, but who knows? And then availability, I have no idea what Bissell Brothers. Check out their website. Maybe they have a beer finder. We see drips and drabs of their stuff. We just got a big drop of them within the past week, which is why I picked up this. A couple other beers showed up from them, but I had to get my hands on this. It was relatively fresh, so I was like, all right, go time. Excuse me. I would love to try this like a week or two old just to see how it compares to what I'm drinking now, but body, mouthfeel, drinkability, balance, all fantastic. Just need more flavor for it to really get into that, like, you know, excellent range, that 4.5 to plus range. But I think it's really good. So if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it, and appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.